and welcome back to this video. Now in this video, we're going to go over 5 tricks that will help you reach ketosis faster. Sounds awesome, right? Now, I'm pretty sure the list of ketosis benefits makes you want to begin a ketogenic diet right away, but you're maybe disappointed when you hear most gurus say how long it takes for ketosis to kick in. On average, it takes 3 to 7 days for the body to enter ketosis. Many people with poor metabolism are waiting the entire 7 days to begin to enjoy the goodness of ketosis. Your body may be one of those wired to simply jog into ketosis, while others sprint towards it, or you simply are not doing the right things. Others may have even achieved ketosis previously, lost focus, and are now finding it hard to regain their former state. Do not stress yourselves out. These tricks have been tested and proven to get you into ketosis as quickly as possible. In this video, we're going to cover the following topics. First of all, we are going over fat fasting, then exercises on an empty stomach, taking more MCT oil, and we will also be talking about intermittent fasting. We will cover this really short because there is a separate in-depth video on this topic. Finally, we will cover FMD, the fasting mimicking diet. You've probably heard of it before. All right, let's jump right into it. Let's start with fat fasting. The very nature of a fast pushes you closer to a state of ketosis. You do not eat for a while, effectively limiting your carb intake, while forcing your body to seek out other sources of energy. During normal fasts, your body still has some glucose stored up, which is used to power the body. Body fat has not been affected, and ketones have not been released. The absence of ketone means normal fasting won't cut it. You must go a step further. During a fat fast, your body is forced to use body fat as its fuel source, triggering lipolysis. Lipolysis is a metabolic process where fat is broken down into triglycerides, which is further broken into glycerol and free fatty acids. When these fatty acids are released, they are absorbed by the liver, eventually creating ketones, which the body uses as fuel. To start a fat fast, your daily caloric intake falls between 1,000 and 1,200 calories. And 80 to 90% of this is fat. Healthy fat, to be precise. A fat fast can last between 2 to 5 days, with 3 being ideal, and 5 being the absolute maximum. Going any longer can lead to loss of muscle mass and actual malnourishment and starving. Divide your daily intake into smaller chunks of meals, around 5 low-carb, high-fat meals daily, giving you 200 to 240 calories per serving. Eat at intervals of 3 hours to keep the hunger pangs at bay, and eventually they will disappear. When choosing what to eat in a fat fast, focus on meals that are essentially all fat. Avocados, cream cheese, coconut oil and butter, fat bombs, macadamia nuts, and full-fat yogurts are meals that are highly recommended. A scale for reference is as follows. Your daily intake should be 1,000 calories, 97 grams of fat, which makes 86% of caloric intake, 8 grams carbohydrates, which makes 3% of caloric intake, 16 grams of protein, which makes 6% of caloric intake. This pretty much wraps up a fat fasting diet. Let's go over to exercises on an empty stomach. Exercising has always been a great way for fat loss. And to achieve a state of ketosis faster, you need to exercise even harder. During exercises, your body burns glycogen stores, essentially blood sugar. However, while working out on an empty stomach, the body is forced to not only deplete the glycogen stores, but also burn fat when it runs out of glycogen to use as fuel. Exercising in the morning on an empty stomach takes advantage of the fasting period you've spent asleep. While asleep, your body is forced to use up glycogen for energy. And when you further stretch your body with physical activity, it has to break down fat into energy. Exercising, weightlifting, and anaerobic increases the body's insulin sensitivity, allowing the body to break down blood glucose faster. Insulin sensitivity is vital in the prevention of prediabetes and developing metabolic disorder, as body fat cannot accumulate due to the body's peak improved metabolic state. With a ketogenic diet, your body has reduced insulin levels, since there is limited glucose in the bloodstream. Lower insulin levels equal faster fat burning, and nothing burns fat faster than exercise, usually of a weight-bearing and anaerobic nature. Anyone who knows what the point of working out is will undoubtedly talk about the development of muscles, and muscles play a pretty critical role in the journey of ketosis. Since fat burning is the key to ketosis, anything that aids the body in the breakdown of excess body fat should be encouraged, and that is exactly what muscles do. Bigger, more defined muscle mass allows the body to passively burn fat, even without actively working out. Working out on an empty stomach can sound like a hassle, especially with a concern for depleted energy levels. However, if you slowly work your way up in intensity, you should be just fine. And remember, your body probably has enough fat to provide you energy for these workouts. The next ketosis hack we're going to cover is taking more MCT oil. For increased production and release of ketones into the bloodstream, consuming MCT oil does a great job. Medium-chain triglycerides, MCT, are perhaps the best for fat accessible to the body. They are usually processed differently by the body with little risks of buildup. MCTs also produce ketones almost instantaneously, skipping the digestive system and reaching the liver directly for processing. MCTs are, in a way, man-made, as they are processed from coconut oil and palm oil. You can either buy MCT oil in its processed, more concentrated form, or derive some from issuing coconut oil in your meals. However, to get into ketosis faster, raw MCT oil, or even its powder form, is recommended. MCT oil provides an instant burst of energy, which is great for working out while on a ketogenic diet. The energy provided is almost instantaneous and efficient, as its bioavailability is incredibly high. It also requires minimal enzyme action before it produces ketones which flood your bloodstream. MCT has also shown the ability to reduce the levels of triglycerides contained in the bloodstream of overweight people, essentially reducing the body's level of stored-up body fat. Increased consumption of MCT in oil or powder form will hasten your body's transition into a keto state. As alternative to MCT oil, you could also try a coconut and avocado oil diet. Basically, the gist is use avocado and coconut oil to do all you need to do. Cook with it. Douse meals with these high-fat foods. These serve the dual purpose of improving the taste of meals, but also providing the right type of fats, healthy, monounsaturated fatty acids. The next thing we're going to cover is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a diet plan that unlocks physical benefits in abundance. And that's not the catch. Your mental and emotional health also gets a boost while engaging in this form of fasting. For weight loss and building healthy muscle mass, key factors to getting into ketosis, intermittent fasting has a high success rate. We're going to cover this real quick because I've recorded a separate video about this with all information in depth and in detail. Let's dive right into it. Celebrities, VIPs, movie actors have all touted the benefits of intermittent fasting. And you may think it's probably a scheme to endorse some product, but it really isn't. The only thing being endorsed is a method that optimizes your body's metabolic state. Intermittent fasting means cycling between periods of fasting and your normal ketogenic diet. During this period of fasting, your body goes into overdrive, increasing cellular regeneration, hormone functions, and fat burning. There are many forms of intermittent fasting that can be performed while trying to enter ketosis. The first one we're going to cover is 16-8 intermittent fasting. That means you need to fast for 16 hours a day while having an 8-hour feeding window. The easiest way to perform a 16-8 fast is skipping breakfasts and avoid all meals past 8 p.m. You may decide to break your fast by 12 noon and eating between 12 and 8 p.m. to eat meals. Maintain your normal ketogenic diet during this fast, with a 75 to 90% fat content. The next form of intermittent fasting is the 20-4 fast. The 20-4 fast allows for an even shorter eating window, 4 hours, meaning you fast for 20 hours daily. You may either eat a single meal or 2 smaller portions during the 4-hour period to stave off hunger pains. You could also try 5-2 intermittent fasting. With a 5-2 fasting plan, your week is split into 2 sections, fasting and non-fasting days. Created by Dr. Michael Mosley, a nutritional expert, in his book, The Fast Diet, you have 5 days of regular eating and 2 days of fasting. The 36-hour fasts. The way to perform the 36-hour fast is to prepare to skip eating an entire day. You have dinner on day 1, completely skip eating on day 2, and then have breakfast on day 3. Skipping a full day of eating makes this form of intermittent fasting more powerful than shorter fasts, as your body burns more excess calories during your full day of fasting. However, be careful not to dive right into a full 36-hour fast until you are sure you can handle the pressure. A ketogenic diet on its own will help you get into a state of ketosis when well done. Combining it with intermittent fasting gives you improved memory and cognitive function, reduces aging, fights cancer, and of course, speeds up weight loss. All right, that was intermittent fasting in a nutshell. Let's move on to our last keto hack, the fasting mimicking diet. This is a radical variation of fasting. tricking your body into believing you're fasting when still consuming small portions of food. This is a great alternative to full fasting, which may be too much for you to engage in at the moment. You still get the full benefits of fasting despite eating. Fast mimicking is also considerably safer, since you still get some nutritional content and vital electrolytes rather than nutritional depletion, which can occur with full fasts. Fast mimicking can be engaged at least once a month for optimal results, and last for between 3 to 7 days. During this period, you're going to consume only 40% of your normal daily caloric intake. Your meals are still high-fat foods, with your fat intake at around 80%, 15% protein, and 5% carbs. Try a mix of coconut oil and milk, bone broth, avocados, and grass-fed butter for great diet variations during the period of fast mimicking. Normally, the human body gets into a state of ketosis within 3 to 7 days of making the switch to a ketogenic lifestyle, high-fat, low-carb. However, for those looking to jump the waiting period and get their bodies into this prime metabolic state, the tricks we covered will push the body to its healthy limits and trigger a state of ketosis much faster than conventional methods. Achieving a state of ketosis will pay huge dividends in the long run, from weight loss to epilepsy management, diabetes prevention and treatment, as well as improved mental alacrity. Getting into ketosis is a ridiculously cheap way to increase your overall health and well-being. Begin today and watch as your body begins to enjoy the dividends almost instantaneously. That pretty much wraps up everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the other videos.